Today is Wednesday the 17th of March 2020. This is a video for users regarding medical certification and submissions in Health 1 version 8.7.1.26XX. This version will be distributed in the next few days to all users. To find your version of Health 1, simply click Help and About, and you will see it's 8.7.1.2634 or higher. Make sure you have updated all of your PCs with this version of Health 1. We already have the possibility to click on this button here, which is Inability to Work, or Shift Control W, which brings up the Social Welfare Cert. You can click on Consent Given and print it, and this is your data consent form that you have to print out and sign it, and you sign it with the patient. You then have to scan that back in on a once-off basis to the patient's file. There's no way around this at the moment. Once you click OK, Health 1 will open this 6 cert. You will only have to do the consent once for each patient. So this form has been available since the previous versions of Health 1, but now we can submit down the bottom electronically. You can use this Med 1 or a Med 2. Med 2, as you know, is only available for those who have been put off sick long-term by the Department of Social Welfare. You have the doctor in charge, you have the panel holder here with their DSP number and IMC number. If these aren't there, then the doctor will appear in red, and you would have to put in the DSP number and the IMC number. In this case, we're happy that it is. This doctor is going to get paid for it. We'll put in the PPS number, and just make sure with your PPS number that you don't have spaces between the last number and the letter, and always have the letter in capitals. This is very important. You can put in the occupation, any occupation you like, or you can choose it from the list here. Let's say he's a construction worker. If that is the case, Health 1 will automatically give him a physical effort of heavy. But for most occupations, there is no such help. You have to manually put in medium or heavy or light yourself. The relevant incapacity, you can just type the first few letters of the condition. Let's say it's low back pain, and the common types of low back pain come first. So you can double click on that and you'll get the correct ICD-10 code, and you will get a suggestion from the department that the most appropriate time off work for this particular problem is 4 weeks. Likewise, you could say it's anxiety, which is another common cause of it, and again you will say the second one here is the most likely. So we always give you the most likely ones in yellow at the top. So let's say that's the case. It will put in the ICD code, and you can say how many weeks, and let's say you give it for 8 weeks in this case. You have the date from here to an inclusive date. You can also backdate your certs, and it will calculate your end date. Usually there is no need to tick final certificate, because in a closed system like this is, it is assumed that on this date, or the day after this, the 12th of the 5th, the patient is expected to go back to work. So you don't really need to say this is final. If the patient is still sick at that stage, you can extend the cert for another period. You must remember that you have to put in the IB1 application form, or the patient has to, so you can give him this at the reception desk, or he will never get paid, and neither will you. So for the first time a patient is applying for sickness benefit, he must supply an IB1 form. So now I can submit this directly to the PCRS here and now. Because this is a test patient, I won't actually do that. I will, for the moment, just save the form. But you can submit it here and now. And in that case, the patient doesn't get any printed certificate, and the department will let you know very quickly whether this is accepted or not. But for the moment, I'm just going to save it, and I got an invalid PPS number. I put in a valid PPS number, and it has been saved to the patient file. Next thing, we double click on this to open the form again. I will show you that if you do submit, or if you open the file a second time, you can at any time print the patient receipt. This receipt will be given to the patient, and the patient will hold on to the receipt as a guarantee that his certificate has been sent to the department. The patient can also use this certificate as a private certificate for his employer. These certificates are editable, as any fast report is, by when you're going to print the receipt, hold the Shift key down. If you do that and click Print Receipt, you'll go into the edit mode and you will then be editing the certificate, and you can put other stuff in there, change your name and address and heading and stuff. Repeat, if you want to print the receipt, you click on Print. If you want to edit the receipt, hold the Shift key down and click Print Receipt. Because I am recording this video in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, I want to show you that you can use this certificate for your COVID patients. If in the relevant incapacity you simply type COVID, you will see that you have two options here. COVID confirmed, which has one particular ICD-10 code, and COVID self-isolated. So if it's a patient that you're testing or that you have asked to self-isolate, then you can issue them a certificate as well under this item, and you get a different ICD code. So this is all possible with this version of Health One. You can issue a social welfare cert for your COVID-19 patients as per the DEASP guidelines. It should be noted that the self-isolation cert has a maximum period of 4 weeks, which Health One will automatically put in for you. If you want to see an overview of all your recent and ever done certificates, you click on Analysis and Cert Dashboard. This is like the Chronic Disease Dashboard and the Cycle of Care Dashboard. So if you click on that Analysis Certificate Dashboard, you will bring up a list of all your patients who have had a cert by default from 1 month ago to today. And this dashboard, like the other dashboards, is filtered by date, by responsible, by status, for example, unsent, waiting, received and rejected. You can type in the patient's name here or the doctor in charge. You can see here that you have some awaiting. This means that they have been submitted and that there's a reference number gone with it to the department through HealthLink, and we are awaiting a response from HealthLink. This response will come down in the lab downloads. And if you get a response, it will be automatically updated to received. And thus you will get paid for those that have been received and not rejected. So if we can sort these by the ones that have been received, we can see that these are all in green here, and we'll be paid for them all. If we want to see those that have been rejected, we click on the status here, and at the moment there are none rejected, and we can see why they're rejected in that case. So that you have an easy way of managing all of your sick certs. From the dashboard, you can right-click and open the patient file or open the certificate. So if we open this certificate, you go straight to the patient's file and the certificate. In fact, this patient was actually certified for coronavirus, self-isolated for 2 weeks. I can again, if I wish, print my receipt, or I can print the consent. There's no point in printing the certificate anymore. In summary, this video has been about the electronic submission of medical certificates under the social welfare legislation in Health One, version 8.1.26 XX, which is going to be distributed in the coming days. And I am using to demonstrate this is 8.7.1.2634. This R2635 or 6 will be distributed in the next couple of days. The big change for this certificate is clicking on the certificate button and being able to submit electronically your certificate. Also, we have the option of having an incapacity of COVID-19, either self-isolated or confirmed. And that's the end of this recording. Thank you.